I cannot stand any more what I am hearing, so let's talk about death. Yes, about death, and stop acting like you saw a ghost. Since we all have to face it eventually, let's get it from scratch and stop whining and try to avoid it. The first thing we have to admit is that all the sobbing and the weeping, with a few exceptions, are from those left behind, and not from the one who is about to depart. The emotions, the financial, the strange new way of life, stress most of the people and lead them to tears. Most cry out of habit, but everyone sobs out of ignorance. We will put aside for now what must be done from the living and check, in a way, what is happening to the one departing, because wishes like heaven are waiting, and something like have a good journey are words without content that bring consolation only to the ones that wish them. Not to mention that they create an alibi to keep on living the way we do. Now, for those who claim that they do not believe in anything, they just say the first nonsense that comes into mind. In their last moments, they are the most frightening ones, which makes sense, since they have never wondered about anything. If you want to be amused, check that video with the one who was swearing at the Virgin Mary, and suddenly an earthquake occurred, and he started begging for her protection. No angel is waiting to escort the dead. Unless you think angels are available for all good and bad, criminals and rapists, let's not go any further. Now, if you believe that for them a demon is waiting to take them to hell, then there should be a stage where the dead are judged and the appropriate ticket is given according to the decision. That sounds more reasonable to me. This generally unknown time horizon is what should concern us. I mentioned below an Orphic hymn. Yes, Orphic, you read well. It is written by those who, according to our liking, we either call them our ancestors, if what they said is in our favor, or, most of the time, we totally ignore. You will find a fountain in the roof of Hades with a white cypress next to it. Do not go near this fountain. You will find another one that runs cold water from Lake Mnemosyne, memory. There are guards in front of it. Say to them, I am Gaia's and Uranus' child. My origin is heavenly. You know that as well. I have dried out of thirst. I'm lost. Give me only cold water flowing from the lake of Mnemosyne. And they will let you drink from the eternal fountain, and from then on, you will be placed among other heroes. Add this to the well-known quote, blessed memory, or eternal memory, that the priests repeat again and again, which has nothing to do with the living remembering the dead. They will forget him eventually. The wish refers to the dead, holding on to their memory. We've said why in previous articles. Many questions arise that most people face with mockery. The excuse is that it is not yet time to deal with them. Don't forget, though, that in sports, sometimes the game goes into sudden death. Anyway, we can summarize this subject in the following questions. First, technically, what should the average person do to avoid as much as possible any suffering and mistakes after his natural death? Second, how can others help the dying and those who have recently died? And third, what are the preparations to be made from a follower of esotericism? The answer to the first question is a well-spent life, as Sadhu wrote in his scripts. The good produces good, and in this case maybe a kind-hearted intermediary can help us on the afterlife journey. For the third question, I recommend that you find someone from an esotericism group and ask him. He must know something more than me. Regarding the second question, feel free to compare what I write to the habits that were widespread in the province. Most of them have a long history, not too shabby. It is well known that the funeral process of the Orthodox Church keeps to no small extent the old rituals, and this comes from a man who is not on good terms with any kind of church. However, in some distant monasteries of Russia, esoteric Christianity was rescued because Western monks weren't able to approach and alter the original scripts. Let's have a look at some habits. First, there must be peace and tranquility. There could be some music playing at a low volume, preferably the one that the deceased preferred. It is also good to have flowers, again the ones that he liked. Scents are essential in the first phase of body separation. Ask yourself, could this be the reason for the funeral wreaths and not the tearful messages printed on ribbons that accompany them? Stop spitting to keep away the evil eye, Greek custom. I can see you. If you do not like what I'm writing, read other articles. I'll go on. The farewell has to be honest. At that point, we have to accept the peculiarities of the departed. He will be held accountable, not us. It's not fair to express all our complaints now, especially the ones we didn't dare to share while he was alive. He can't hear us. At the very least, we just send him negative vibes. As far as passing him to the undertaker, honestly, it's better than having him at home sobbing over him. Maybe lying there in the fridge, he has a better chance relaxing. What I mean to say is that his zoic dynamism can get a better grip on what's happening and begin to let go of the body and get used to the idea of the journey that follows. One might say that the conditions in life and our possibilities have little to offer at that point. But still, don't you think that this fiesta we call funeral is a bit too much? Maybe the simple approach that our uncivilized foreign friends have adopted is better. I believe so. On the other hand, I think you will follow your wife's or mother-in-law's civilized decision. So the first day has passed, the second as well, and here comes the third. It's time for the first wish to be granted. There is a reason for the fucking 3-day period. Of course, this time sometimes increases and sometimes decreases. In Jesus, for instance, it was from Thursday till Saturday, while for the rest of us, it depends on the day. If it is near the weekend, it varies. Apparently, the souls have to fill in certain forms, and the angels in charge don't work on the weekends. I am not even mentioning what happens on the 40 days. Who remembers them after all? Come to think of it, it's better this way than starting all over the sobbing and complaints, sending more bad vibes that upset the departed. Because that is what we do. We use the power we have as living to disturb the after-living. However, the process of death does not end so quickly. I copy from the book of Revelation. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is the second death. Anyone whose name was not found written in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire. Revelation 20. The poor guy has such a strict procedure to pass, and all we say is what good of a husband or not he was. The same goes for the ladies. The vital question is there anything we can do to help the departed in his journey? I honestly believe there is nothing to be done to change the outcome. Maybe the best thing is to pray for his soul, so that we offer him some kind of peace and tranquility. Beware, though, a proper prayer, not the wild ones with the deep bows, and the endless Lord, have mercy. Lord does not honor fools. P.S. Throughout my article, I referred to the departed as men. Was it by chance? Probably. I profoundly believe that women have their own God.